Hey guys! So I'm sure some of you must be wondering what this page is about and who Gia is, so I am going to get right into it and tell you why I decided to set up this YouTube channel. Now, everybody has that one friend who they think all the exciting and interesting stuff happens to, and for me that's my friend Gia Winters. Now, Gia and I have been friends for a really long time, and over the years I have learned that after hanging out with her there is always some great story to tell, which is why I decided to set up this YouTube channel so I could share some of these stories with you through a series of vlogs and short videos. Now, I guess you could say that Gia's parents are public figures, so she tries to stay out of the limelight a bit, and she's quite a private person. But I'm going to try and respect her privacy as much as I can and not go into specific details about her life, but at the same time still share some of the crazy, curious, and funny things that happened to her during the week. So I'm going to start off part 1 of my friend Gia by telling you guys a story about something interesting that happened to us last week when we were catching up. Now, Gia and I don't go to the same school because she's super rich and fancy, and I'm not, but we were catching up for milkshakes after school, and she gets a call from no caller ID, so she picks it up, and she says hello, and there's nobody on the other end of the line. So, she says hello a couple more times, but when there's no reply, she just hangs up, and we figure that it was probably just a wrong number or a mistake. They call back again, probably a few seconds later, and the same thing happens. She picks up and says hello, and there's silence on the other end. So she hangs up again. Again, we just probably think it's a mistake, nothing big. They don't call back for a couple more minutes, but then once again, no caller ID pops up on her screen, and she picks it up and says hello, and this time there's heavy breathing on the other end of the line, like intense heavy breathing, like a cliched horror movie. So, she says hello a couple more times and asks, who is this? And how did you get my number? And it's just, nobody says anything. It's just heavy breathing. And then she hangs up and, she's starting to get a little freaked out, mostly annoyed because they just keep calling. And they don't call back for maybe 5-10 minutes. And then again, no caller ID pops up. And she picks it up and she puts it on speaker so I can hear it, and this time we were expecting more heavy breathing or silence, but this time it's two people yelling at each other, like two guys, but it's not loud. It's almost like it's in the distance, like there's a fight happening in the background, or someone left a movie running and put the phone near it. And we couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but it was something about betrayal or letting the other one down or something like that, and we couldn't really tell what it was, but it didn't sound fun. So, she kind of is getting a little bit freaked out and she says hello, who is this? And they just cut, the phone clicks shut before we can even say hello again or hang up. And, it doesn't happen again for the rest of the time that we're hanging out, and it doesn't happen again that day. No caller ID does not call back, but then it happens the next day and the day after that, and then radio silence until yesterday afternoon when the same thing happens. So they call her up and it starts off with heavy breathing, and then she hangs up and the next call is people yelling at each other. So we probably think that it's her younger brother Mike, probably just playing a prank on her with one of his friends or something, but it is a little bit creepy, so we're starting to get a little weirded out. If you guys know anything that has happened to you or a friend which is similar to this or sounds equally creepy, feel free to leave your comments in the section below. We would love to hear your own versions of this or your own stories. Alternatively, if you know any way to find out who this mystery caller is, we would greatly appreciate any help you could give us. I'm sure that there are many ways to find out who this guy is or girl. We're starting to get a little creeped out, and we're hoping that they just stop, and we're hoping that it's just some silly prank that somebody gets bored of eventually. But on the off chance that it's not, it's kind of weird. Anyway, in the meantime, you guys will have to wait for another week for an update on this mystery caller or another interesting, exciting thing that happens to Gia. I guess you guys could check out her Instagram. I will leave a link to it in the section below. And that's just kind of like a sneak peek into what she's up to during the week and you guys can leave any questions or comments below, and I would love to read them and answer any questions that you guys have. But until then, you guys will have to wait till next week for another episode, I guess, of My Friend Gia. So I will see you guys next week with another interesting, crazy, and curious story about Gia Winters. See you then!